exactly 2 p.m. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. For greeting all in the name of Allah, the most gracious, and I for wish everybody now, the people of this country, will celebrate the holy month of Ramadan. For extend on behalf of the government of Salone, on behalf of the Ministry of Information and Civil Education, a hearty Ramadan Kareem to all. I pray that Allah will make all enjoy the blessing. I want to welcome all again to this edition of a very special press conference with press and civic engagement with the Ministry of Information and Civic Education. They bring Canto now. We talk about issues that really affect we in this country and follow we engage. Today we get a very high-powered panel, and when we start, we go straight into the conversation. I want to take this opportunity to tell plenty thank you to my brother Yusuf Keketoma Sandi, who is the press secretary for His Excellency, who we host last week. The previous week, I also want to tell thank you to my colleague, Mr. Imran Sila, we host. So people then can ask questions, hey, why this person host, why this person host? Which will commit to that we work as one government and we bring calm people with relevant for the conversation and the conversation they continue irrespective of who that day nowadays. So that's now one commitment we'll get and we'll continue to do this in a very big way as we know the work. I want to thank you as well to Una, the Fourth Estate, and all the partners that we carry live. Thank you to Sarah Wata, with the Wata, Orange, with the Internet Ministry of Foreign Affairs, with the host and support the people who will make sure so we get sign language so that we're inclusive and all that. I just do 2 basic news items and then I'll turn to the panel. So in a big panel, I'm getting time. These are big issues we get, and I'm getting time for them to talk directly to the people of this country. Number 1. We issued a press release yesterday. A gentleman by the name of Abubakar Conte, then be arrested in Guinea for an alleged, some people don't know the English word day. So you better talk about an alleged role in the November 26 failed coup. The press release say Abubakar Conte in Guinea, he been in the process of trying for escape from Guinea to Senegal, with the joint security operation between Salone and Guinea, the OLA, and then plan for bringing and come Salone for like it can face questions from the authorities. They also suspect say this man in Ande Parakush business. So now the 2 things that they will for. Again, the English word suspect means he still get right. If they will come, they will ask a question, he innocent until they prove him guilty. People that don't ask questions all over social media, why they not be in name not be there at the wanted list. So I answer our thing. Intelligence when they operate, you know, and I mean always talk about the list, say the list not exhaustive. I always talk and I say, every day based on the intelligence, then they add, then they remove. And sometimes, as part of the intelligence, then they left person where you know say we no say involved. We no put in the public. Because sometimes then they take time for stop this person, then we leave it to other people. So let people make clear, say just because you name not that the list not means they don't hold you. The law not they go by list. The law they go by website and gets intelligence, waiting information what the states get, and the states they use, and then they use for execute. So that make, and I also want to reiterate, including the one the way they don't charge. Nobody know the way they hold a salon when they say guilty. When they hold you know means they guilty. It means that the state suspects you, the state get reasonable reason for belief say you involved. You do in a court, and you go prove, through the court of law whether you're guilty or not, and then and we'll make a decision. So I want one way to comment on this issue. I want to be an opportunity to this follow clarify. Issue number 2 is an announcement. Next week, instead of here, we will be to Manu. We will do a major town hall on Kush, on the Kush crisis. All the government ministers that we get portfolio involved in this, internal affairs, AG, youth, social welfare, information, will all be there. All the civil society groups that really are activists on this issue, and we did it. We invite the drug enforcement agency, and we did it. We bring religious leaders, we bring paramount chiefs, community leaders. We all get a major town hall at the same time for talk about what we all don't do so far, and we will provide evidence. The one that we in social media, we say they know that they bring Kush. Now we ask us to come the evidence forward because we're ready for act. The state is acting, we're ready for doing more. Now, one thing for the social media, they point out on somebody without any basis. Another thing for them bring that evidence the way can, because we also don't live in a society where they waking up only no more and say you want them and push and not get no way for proof say you want them. So we want to live in a society where we get an open conversation. This is an issue important to we all. And some of we get plenty for say. But as I say, next week, inshallah, Tuesday, same time, also we will be in a mental conference. All now our journalists they will cover this live on our daily, but we also invite civil society, activists, student leaders will pack that hall and we will discuss waiting all for doing a salon for tackle and with our own collective responsibility for fight against the deadly Kush virus. Okay. And at the updates and we get time for this afternoon. Now, I have a particularly welcome a very distinguished panel we'll get here today. Then we are really no need introduction, but we will still show una will get at the panel. And also, people know they talk plenty about these two sectors we'll get here today. On the far left, I'm very, very honored for the first time at the press conference. It don't come before a press conference, but this is the first time it come at a weekly press conference. I get one nickname I can call a man, this is the Honorable Julius Matai, when he will Minister for Mines and Mineral Resources. He can't be for share a vision as a minister, the steps that we don't take for bring sanity, for push the sector go forward, in reforms that we embark on. Today, an opportunity for them to talk to her directly, and also it will clarify some things that we need at the news, within at the position of the government of Sierra Leone when it comes to this sector. Next to the Honorable Matai, now his sister, Chairperson, Marie Bangoa, we come on at the Western Area Rural Youth Council. We really want to continue to involve the youth leaders then in a conversation and then we'll share perspective, youth perspective on the two sectors that we'll be talking about today. And then my brother on the right, this man is one of the most popular man in this country. Because every day social media when they ask me about ETSA. So today, we don't bring cancer the very distinguished Dr. Joe Lahai Somana, we are the Director General for the Electricity Distribution and Supply Authority. People misunderstand the unenso sector here, and today we can give the opportunity to clarify, now ask my questions, and then we take it forward. Now, without further ado, we'll start with mines. And I'll hand the microphone over somebody who always a very fantastic communicator. Now, the way he communicates is detailed. He focuses on the facts. Mr. Minister, I will give you, 8 minutes for let you frame the conversation for me. Since you take over as Minister of Mines, what's not the vision, what's not the step we don't take, what's not the achievements then. You just give people that help them understand what's in Minister Matai they do in their minds and the step they will take. And as I've been shared with you, I will likely also use this opening towards the end for address some of the what I would call dominant news related to the sector around, I think, particularly Seattle. So I think the microphone there on that side, and you can turn it on, and it's all yours.
Good afternoon, everyone, and the audience out there globally with the followers. Thank you very much, Minister Pa, for the introduction and for setting the context. Yes, I'm the first in this valley Canada for this press conference.
Okay.
I want now fake news. So fake news. As DG I'm very confident.
I'm sorry for the shots. Good. Any time from now.
Thank you very much again for giving me the opportunity for coming to a global audience, not only the media really. First of all, I want to make it clear that the issue is also in the mining sector and the breadbasket of Sierra Leone. I mean, that's how the phrase all man can use. And they will not mine there for over 9 decades. General companies, Sierra Leoneans do not benefit from that mining will take place in the country. So it means it's very clear if one set himself a vision in terms of when I can the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources in July 2023, which I'm going to do. But at the same time, I just want also to remind everybody that I'm not just kind of the mining sector. Before the appointment Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, very early in 2019, me and the Director General at the National Minerals Agency. That's now the technical wing and the technical professional wing of the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources, with the advice Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources. So from being in the position outside, that we regulate and advise the minister, I'm now in a position where I have to be advised and where we formulate policies. And the difference in that is means every government vision, policies, papers really out there, and make it for a cabinet and inform the other ministers and in terms and advise the government to do. So with that, very clear over the years that we vision very simple. We have to make sure say the mining sector works for Sierra Leoneans. Why should they also seek for attract investment and guide the investors that for them to do the right things right? When I say the sector will work for Sierra Leoneans, it will affect the whole welfare, it will improve on the economy, improve all the issues what we call for sustainable development, be it economic, be it environmental, or be it socio-economic. That's the bigger picture. The mining sector for work for the country and people, including the communities who say mining will take place. And that vision, not something we knew. It's been there even before I became Minister of Mines. But I want also for that we understand the mining sector is very complex. The mining itself, like everybody apart from artisanal mining, we make it called a casino economy where man visit, you just go there, get a shovel, go visit a shrine or Baba. It's a new time or a old day. It's very expensive, it's very capital intensive. You have to put a lot of money inside, full of risk, and the profits can come very late. So for do that, over the decades from the time when the last Sierra Leone government gets any share in any mining company was the days of SLST and DMC, then that's 1985 ago. All the investors are in the country are private investors. So it means how we get for engagement for make sure so which I don't say the setup for work for the country and for the people there. It means we have a lot of tasks. Because when they say they can't mine, they know to charity, they know to NGO. There is some that they can't, they go to loan, they can invest with hopes they can get some winning. We will go from the win-win perspective, win for the community, win for the government, win for the investors. So with that said also, even though, yes, we are the government of Sierra Leone, we get to look at the bigger picture as well. So that vision though we set up in the context of Africa, we get what we call the African Mining Vision of 2009. We say we will try as African countries then beneficiate, domesticate, value addition of the country to make sure say this work for broadly sustainable development. We get to also do that in the context of ECOWAS, which will get directive and the guidelines of the principles and policies on the mining sector and as well as mining development policies. We get from that national level, we said previously in 2018 we get the National Medium-Term National Development Plan. We don't just we don't get the new one, we start from 2024 to 2030. So with that meant the guidance and the do. The Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources is not responsible for policy formulation, whereas the NMA, the technical wing, that then regulates. Why should they do this? We get for the ensure that vision around the top portfolio is set to benefit every Sierra Leonean. We get to take some steps or some goals who will say this is to do and work. As I mentioned earlier, the law and the regulations get to work. 1927, we'll get the first law in mining, when the Just Mineral Act. They revised in 1960, they'll get the Revised Mineral Act. Beyond that, nothing will happen until 1994, get the mining decree. I think the first, I call it not to revolution, several revolution will take place in the mining sector. In 2009, we'll get the Mines and Minerals Act. Until we spent the past few years to try to update that, making sure we get, just last year, the Mines and Minerals Development Act of 2023, and then the Mines and Minerals Regulation. Because without the law, without the regulations, without the policies for guiding, we'll get a problem. Forget about the diamond, gold, bauxite, iron ore, which we'll get. And in 2018, the government began up with the minerals policy, the carbon regulator policy, and the artisanal mining policy. So that then they guide me as a minister for doing what I do. So we set very clear goals. We get to make sure say we revise all the law there, because the mining companies where they can get money, they get access to the best lawyers, best advice, that then say they change the game as we go, they learn what we law. So we need to make sure say we still remain, keep abreast of the law, and the challenges that we get, to make sure say we obedient with law the day. Then we could not do that, because I can always say the act will get, the act will the law, the part of the law, until you augment that act with regulations and other statutory instruments together, and they actually allow you to do that. So we want to make sure say the goals that we set to itself, that we revise the law in the current based on knowledge, because whereas some years back people that they talk about gold and diamond. Over the years, we don't see Wutai don't come, bauxite don't come in. Now when they talk about rare earth minerals, we talk about coltan, we talk about heavy mineral sands. And the methods that we use, we have to make sure they update. We also get to make sure we update with knowledge about geological survey and the data they will get. Because you get to know what you get before you sell it to somebody. And they don't live on the follow way in 2019, 2020, we do the nationwide geological survey. We give you some idea. We say we mineral anomalies in there. You know, they tell you exactly, we say everything there exactly, like just a concept. But then they tell we see now that the kind of grade of iron ore bauxite where so it needs to do more work. So they do down there, try to train young men and young women. We give them scholarship for them to go study, so that person will meaningfully regulate the mining sector. We also work with NRA, Ministry of Finance, to make sure so we set the right fiscal regime, the taxes, whether they pay the license fees, the royalties, so that that will go to the consolidated fund for allow the government to undertake the development that we need for do, according to the various programs that we all set. At the same time, as much as we allow foreign direct investment to the country, we also encourage local participation. We want to empower we Sierra brothers and sisters, you know, our countrymen, and let us play an active role in the mining sector. I personally want to go with the mining sector. Not to pursue the wait for royalties here and there, so we try to work with Sierra-Leoneans. We also make sure that when we don't get in the mining economy, their rights are respected, to make sure they on board, not to produce the way take security and forget people in a meaningful position. Then we know say mining happen normally have to reach communities. You know, communities that like you always tell your colleagues, I say let's run the communities who say more country the mine bauxite, who say they're combining and also who says you are today, who say we met today Gundama. In all these areas, the communities they don't benefit much. So they actually try to make sure say health, safety issues, and community relationships they work. So that are the important things that we set for ourselves. And we're on that path. As I say, we already update the Mines and Minerals Act and regulations. And at the same time, as I don't say, rather than rely on those things, we only work with other government ministries and departments and agencies. We work with the Ministry of Finance, we work with the Attorney General's Office for set up for the first time since the days of NDC, which we call Sierra Leone Mines and Minerals Development Corporation Act, where they allow the government itself for setting your entities. So rather than rely on those royalties, 3% here and there, and just license fees, that the government becomes an active player. For allow the government as well through that entity they for set a special purpose vehicle when accompanies them, and we sell from equity Botswana and the other countries there, we get mineral wealth fund. So we'll establish that and we'll work with the Ministry of Finance and other MDAs for do that. At the community level, areas outside that one, in mind, we go to call that one area community development fund. For make sure that those communities where mining will take place in terms of artisanal diamond, you know, we get some percentage of the export duties and give them back. Just late this last December, over 8 billion was disbursed, and we are asking for not to free money, to make sure say they come up with projects there, and we have to regulate it together with the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs to do that. At the same time, we have done this over the years, you know, large sums of money by Kingo Mining Company, Marampa, you know, they disbursed to the community, local community development agreement and funds. So they undertake that. At the same time, the artisanal sector, we also try to make sure say we don't revise the law. We actually allow people to use machinery regulated and making sure say they're not damage the environment, to send a damage rehabilitate time. At the same time, we go and undertake conferences to promote the country actively for make sure say where investors they can, not only for regulating but also support and guide them. That brings me to conclude the burning issues we all manage on Sierra Wutai. Sierra Wutai, of course, we already see in the news. First, we get issues with them as the government. 2021 May, they began to meet the terrorists here as an entity that is struggle. But before that, Sierra Wutai, as it is, since 1967, and they began operating in that area. We said the Mobimo, Bangabele, Pejebu West, they don't go Bani, they don't go Lanti. They don't change company from one company to the next, from the days when the British they be there till they go to the resources, consolidated minerals, they don't go to Aluka left, you know, they get in 2016, they left. Now the Sierra Wutai will get it today. I just want to make it clear to people. When they come in, they can be called multinationals. Then they set up a subsidiary in the register. But the parents come in, they're outside Sierra Leone. So this Sierra Wutai will be talking about limited Sierra Leone. It gets the parent in Australia who calls Sierra Wutai who is limited. a public company registered on the public, on the Australian Stock Exchange. In between them, we get 4 other companies. We own this year over there. 2 of them, they did a British Virgin Island, the other one in the UK, the other one in Australia. So now, so they structured them. Then they left the picking area, whereas the grandpa knew by hand. So 2 things. The structure they do locally in Naya. Now then we say, then we strong 2021. The government go get the concessions. Because they say the one, make sure say the area will say they mine area 1, they don't need mine meander from where I look at to come 2016, that they struggle operationally. So the government said, look, okay, we don't want people that lost job, we will give them some opportunity here, which will call fiscal regime. By law, we'll give mining license enough for mining export. But then at the same time, some companies that can come, they say because of the level of investment they do, they will let me within a call mining lease agreement. We're not too mandatory because if we will not get time, but out of good faith, depending on the investment they can allow them. So the government agreed in August 2021, they didn't pay what we call corporate income tax, which will be 25%. So they call pay what we call minimum turnover tax. The government reduced from 3.5% to 0.5%. Royalties, it means when you produce, you sell. You give the government some money back. They will pay 4%. Reduce it to 0.5%. When you get what we call cost of duty, they pay 6.5%, reduce it to 0.5%. They get also what we call fuel import duty, reduce it from 12% to 1%. Then also we get what we call, withholding tax, management fees and interest, we reduce it to almost 0. Straight away, the following year 2022, they make profits over $76 million. I mean, just imagine. Now, when I use tax money, they will reduce. We already here to let this company continue to operate. They tell me, say, with that, they know the area won't say they operate. But what don't say they don't make this profit? The following year, they make over $30 million. You say, but when I let go back, we say we pay because they continue to struggle. And they say they need one. Because we don't sign an agreement in 2021, we'll give the concessions. So, the Ministry of Finance writes to them, we're not a financial expert, but at least we can engage them. Say, well, wait, when I look at back, maybe they'll go in 2021. But they get agreement when they sign in 2001, 2002. They tell the country doesn't come up at war. And during that time, they said, it's right to be they operate, they're able to go care maintenance because they suspended 1995, they don't become in 2006. Then terms and conditions that we may exist 22, 23 years ago, they said, no, I know for them. So the government don't engage them. Then they tell us, okay, because of that, if you not agree, then they can suspend the operations. And then we'll make people that redundant. But we'll give you license, you get rights and obligations. Now the right to suspend the operation by law, if not for technical and operational reasons, for 100 days. But you have to seek the approval of the minister. If you are redundant, again, you get to engage in relevant government ministries, departments, and agencies. And the third agreement will be limited because they don't make anybody redundant, but to make a consent. So they agree ultimatum. They say by March 11, if you don't really try this from the table, and we'll say, okay, for this is a body issue. And at the first opportunities we'll get, I will not keep quiet. Sometimes they find for talk class. And when I went there, one of the most important people there, I think now I'm going to be for I prefer what I say. So, then say they will go ahead and suspend the operation. The right to wait January 25th. We wait because the law make it clear. We write letter saying you want to suspend. If we provide all the documents back for support, so we will allow the minister to make a decision whether to approve the suspension or whether to institute an investigation or maybe the 100 days way they're entitled to reduce them. They don't send a report. They go ahead. They don't suspend. Some of them will not see I don't write letter to them. For say they don't do it legally. We might not get money as a country, but we should put you submit the law. And we can read that. I made a big regulatory agencies together with the ministry. So tell us, say, before we have not say that letter 25th, the only complete the letter will get, the document will get on the levels of margin. So by law, I've consulted them in 7 days, then we write to them now whether I approve the suspension or the redundancy program according to the third agreement, they don't do that. You don't need for be a lawyer to realize if you don't do something per law, now breach of obligation. So they don't talk, say we're not correct, they will write to we will still waiting. Now the other people that don't see pastoral route side, they say come the daily PRL, LLC, the Puerto Rico, Sierra when they on the Australian Stock Exchange, we normally call it SRX, the day that they want to take over, they want to buy them over, they want to buy the shares. People they ask me, what's your opinion, what should they do? And they see some press releases, they say, oh, not for allowed that, they want to manipulate, monopolize the sector. Because Maritime Mines Limited, their CEO created and they tell people that we have to be careful. Sierra Hold is limited in Australia and a public company registered by Australian Stock Exchange. Anybody can buy share value, whether Nakabuli, Komot, or Kathmandu, or even if in Vietnam. So if company they want to buy shares, they're purely business to business. Which is concerned where they don't buy the shares, we want to register by law. If you get more than 5% share, you have to register with the mining, which we call MCAS, Mining Cadastral Administrative System, and make sure, see, because it's a signatory to the EITI, this is the Extractive Industries Technical Initiative. Yeah? If you pay more than 5%, we go to beneficial ownership, so they have to disclose that. So we wait, at this stage, I'm not going to express opinion whether we they do illegally right or not, because now two entities are outside the jurisdiction of Sierra Leone, where they do with normal business that we do on the stock exchange, they do buy shares and that, and swap ownership, joint venture here and there, mergers and acquisition. So that they will deal with Sierra Leone, and they still wait for the letter there. Whether they talk say we're not correct, it's what you will say. They will take and they also will consult with lawyers then and take it from there. So I will stop there for now. Thank you very much as I go more than the 8 minutes. But importantly, we'll add extra 5 minutes so that the community, the media will come here, so we will articulate that clearly. And thank you very much. I'll stop there for now.
I've been telling and say the minister is a fantastic communicator. You can say whatever you want to say about this minister, but you never accuse and say you don't know what you talk about. I can always say that about my colleagues them and this particular minister. He understands the sector, he gets the details of the sector. And just for reiterate, since this day in the news, say I would say the government of Salo don't write we own position to them. When I mention this breach here, this breach, but when I forget say the same law when I rely on, say when I before do something we not do. We don't throw the ball back to them. So now we wait for the reform there. On this question of what will happen between two foreign listed companies and ownership, the minister in view is until they don't for arrange the Canada, we're not involved. When they don't arrange them, they decide now when they come by law, they need for Canada, for car register, whatever. At that time, the government of Salon will get an opinion and go review. So all the headlines, joke, this is what they do. I want to follow the law. We'll follow and seek information in terms of we will not get this information. I say plenty of this across not just Salon but across the world. And I want to make sure see that point is made clear. Now we come to issue number 2. So if you get questions on mines, rights and law, we get a link, you send out through the link, we slide the link, then our poster, go online, you send out, use the text link, you can scan and write there, and I'll show you the answer any and all questions I have today. Example. Few months ago, I think now, we began the Honorable Minister of Energy, Alaji Dr. Kandas Sinaya, and he explained that in your role, policy guidance, supervision, and leadership of the sector, like our minister explained. Then you get agency they now win a daily responsibility for execute, for do different things there. Today, we get the man who the lead the agency we responsible for distribute and supply the power. So we like to know this person no. Now we understand how the sector works. And Dr. Jola Savannah they can provide for we. Help we follow understand the context and help we for situate what the heads are to do, the reforms them, the constraints and the challenges there, and let we all see, because it's like collective responsibility. What is in your cause?
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Minister Matale, Madam Mary Barbara, and members of the press, and for the one who is joining online, good afternoon all. As the Minister said, I'm the Director General for EDSA. What happened when Minister Matale talk? They just represent what we go through on a daily basis. Whenever lights go, the first reaction is EDSA. All right? But clearly in this room, we all know what happened, not to EDSA. And the hope is that as we go through this conversation at the end, the Deputy Minister Bass say, we will look for understand exactly which is an EDSA role in the entire energy chain, and when it is appropriate and okay for like pointing up by EDSA, when you may want to consider what could be the other reasons why, like no day. Okay, so EDSA, we permanent mandate, as the name suggests, now for distribute and supply light. Okay, that's what we're supposed to do, and we came about after the passing of the 2011 Act. We unbundled NPA. Back then, now the NPA. After the unbundled NPA, 3 entities came out: EGTC, when they generate and transmit power; EDSA, when they distribute and supply power; and then we get EWRC, when they regulate what we do. So even as EDSA, they just grab with things on their own. I have a regulatory body that I need to consult with and get approval before they move. We supply light to the public by actually buying the power. As EDSA, we don't generate light. And this point is very important for the world to understand. Okay? We know they generate light. Now buy we can buy, and they will buy them, then we sell. What we sell, the hope is that the end user will contract with service, either through prepaid meters or postpaid meters, will pay for the light we don't use. And then we will take that money back and go buy again and repeat the cycle. Now, when President Joe took over government in 2018, and I did just state some facts because I want to put context on the conversation. Okay? When President Joe came in 2018, the amount of light we would use, in particular in Freetown, we would say peak on carbon within the network, was just about 52 megawatts of power. Okay? And at that time, as EDSA, we total number of customers that be about 194,000 customers. Fast forward to now, what has happened? The demand on the network, okay, is about 72 megawatts of power. More than almost 50% now we increase that demand in terms of our peak utilization. Okay? The customer base, they also increase from 190 to over 320 megawatts. 320,000 customers. Now, what does this mean? Over the past 5-6 years, as a government, we're going to increase the access to power from about 16% to today, we will see out roughly 36%. The one thing about light is that as you begin to supply light, the demand is more. Light, not the ever do. But we sit at the position we're in. Now, we the shade light. And we the only shape which we get. Okay? Over the same period, we're going to experience huge growth in demand. The reality is that the rehabilitation and expansion of this network not only keep up with the demand for power. Okay? So now what has happened is, because as a government, we will provide more light, more people are not demanding more power. And what that means now is that we serve as a government, we don't do quite a lot, and I'll highlight some of them, in terms of making sure more power is accessible. Because we don't go from the 52 megawatts to about 70 now as peak utilization. The actual amount of peak power demanded in Freetown is about 120, 130, based on our rough estimates. And the reality is, the current network where we get, okay, we can only safely evacuate about 70, 75 megawatts of power. Okay? So we have a city, Freetown, that is where if all one get light at the same time, 24 hours a day, and need for send up to 120 megawatts of power. But the reality is, the network, the state of the network today, if I want to run safely, I have to operate within 70 to 75 megawatts. If I mistake, say because I get all this pressure, and I want to give all my light, therefore I send everything through, we may not have a network. So these are the realities, and these are things that we have to manage on a daily basis. Okay? As a government, we understand and we respect the fact that everybody deserves access to light. That's the dream of the president, that's the goal of the minister, and that's what I try to implement on a day-to-day basis. But the reality is that, given the current state, if we try, it's a big problem. I can always say, or put this into proper context. Imagine as a family, you get 2 pequeños, and then over time, either you colleagues or other members say, hey, I travel or another for the pequeños. And over time, you go to 5, 6, 7 picking. But initially, now 2 corporates will engage. We don't add now to 5, 6, 7 picking, now the same 2 corporates they cook. What happens? So man go for school. All man will get full again. And the reality is, all man will eat at the same time. That's just to put context on our situation. We, as a city, as a country, because these governments don't provide more light, there is more demand for it. But we're not able to keep up in terms of expansion and rehabilitation for keep up with growing demand. But the minister is aware, the president is aware, and frantic efforts are being made, working with our donor partners for ensuring that we close this gap. As I sit here, if you go along the east now, you will notice that there is massive work going with the past string lines from along the Wellington and beyond. When that's completed, and the hope is we'll finish that day sometime in June, that will allow me for send more light to that part of town. Simultaneously, we'll also extend the network to the far west, Sussex and beyond. But again, all these things cost money and they take time. I mean, we understand the demands of the public, and we agree, say yes, it's your right, but let's be patient and allow the government to work these things through. Because like I say, if we as EXA and as a government decide, say, yes, because of the pressure, they say, no matter what, they'll give all man light at the same time, 24 hours a day. It not go easy. We might end up losing the network. That's just the reality. I like you bring an American man, we call Chinese man. That's the fact. So it really left to you now how you want to accept that. But that's just the reality. You will not be able to give past which you get. If the city is demanding 120 megawatts, if I can only safely, the key word there is safety as well. We know they just say G-light, G-light, G-light. We have to have safety considerations. If when at the G-light, and it cause more harm than good, it's better, long. Okay? And sometimes, as EDSA, we have to make those tough decisions. When to give, when not to give, who to give, how to give. And it's not always easy. It's not always straightforward. Because you are managing a limited resource. But with the intervention of the government and working with our donor partners, we believe, say, we are on the right path. Because over the past 6 years, we don't increase access, and we don't even increase the amount of power we pump inside the network. So clearly, there is hope, and there's, from inside this seat, and based on what we know, I believe that we are on the right path. It will take us time, we will get there slowly. In addition to the fact that the network itself, we don't outgrow them, and it's undersized, the other challenge we face at EDSA, okay, is that for now, we only inject power into the network from one way side, into 161. What does that mean? Like the commoner, from the car power ship, we get light from Bunguna, we get light from the solar plant in Makeni, but when they all come, they can't meet the 161. The 161 substation is not managed by EDSA. It is run by EGTC, our sister company. Now, then therefore do their own engineering now, synchronize, combine all their sources there before they send a EDSA. It is at that point that I take over as EDSA for beginning to make a decision as far as how I shape the light. Why is that important? When you have one single injection point without redundancy in the system, what will happen? Whenever we get problem at 161 and then they will give light into the network, everybody get off. Okay? Again, at that point, the light not even coincide to that side. It's still there on the other side. Bear in mind, with the unbundling, the roles have been distributed. EDSA, we own role now for supply and distribute power. EGTC, they own role now for generate and transmit power. Of course, along with EGTC and other independent power providers there, okay? Now that they collectively they allow you to get all the power sources there, who will they combine for shape to the public. So that only
I need you to
wrap up.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr.
I know you have a few more important issues
Yes.
on revenue, so maybe we'll
Yes.
go to that. Yeah.
So that is really one of the main challenges that we face at EDSA. One injection point, when there's a problem, there's an issue. Ideally, what you will find in most networks, you get 2 or 3 injection points. So if issue then you will feed from the other side and reverse the line and still backfeed everybody else. But as it stands now, if King go out, what will it be? Everybody's out. Okay? So having a second or even third injection point will go a long way in terms of helping us. The other challenge we face at EDSA is, like how I said earlier, we know they buy light. I mean, we know they generate light rather. Now buy we buy, and we sell. Alright? We typically buy from either EGTC or other independent power providers. Take car power sheet, for instance, Mafuth, or Cote d'Ivoire Energy, CI Energies, whether they send light to we through the Transco CLSG line. Now they supply light to both Tenema and Pono, and the balance we can left in the Gumuna, they can't filter. Now, the IPPs, the power they pay for, we as a government, we usually charge with customers, specifically domestic customers, lower than what we pay for this light on average. Okay? Most of we customer them, we're all inside domestic users, we fall under the T1 category. What we pay for light in less than which we buy light from Kappa. We pay, if you convert them to dollar cents, about 18 US cents. We buy from Kappa on average about 21 US cents. So as a business, before we even start, we have losses. Before we even begin the business of losses. And I think that anybody inside this room will run business, will run that kind of business. Or if you try for one, in no time, you're out of business. Luckily for us, the government has been very great in terms of subsidizing EDSA operations. And the reason for that is because the president believes light, all not get access to light. Minister, a lot of times always say, light now you right. That's his mantra. Light now right. And the president believes everybody in this country should have access to light. So because of that, so there were deficiencies there. The government always come in and subsidize for help to keep EDSA lights on. But let's be fair here. us at ESA, we said we small issues. It's just the reality. In addition to the price difference, operationally as well, we also report flight business, we also report non-payment of utility bills. I would almost say most of inside this room here, either the flight or we don't put the flight. Yes. Yes. In this room, Minister, the reason why I say that is this: almost on a regular basis, as EDSA, right, we get complaints of theft of power. Okay, and in most of these complaints, EDSA personnel are used. And I will sit here and say that I will not defend them because we don't get cases where we don't prove say some EDSA staff are involved. So we know say some EDSA staff are involved. But the challenge here is that most of the public will cry for light. When there is power theft in their community, if you ask them, help us identify the people so we can correct and fix. We don't get cooperation. So now like I say, almost all my inside, and let me say you a thief, but you must post a thief light. Yes. Because our losses minister are so high that the only way I can explain is the fact that somehow all of us are participating for being EDSA down. And bear in mind, as a business, we know they generate light. Now buy we buy and sell. We'll sell, we'll get the money, we'll buy back the car. Now imagine if you get a small shop. They say, okay, fine, this shop here, and they go buy provision or they sell pharmaceuticals. If you go buy, then when you come with them, somebody can too small, you can't go. Whatever revenue you make is not going to be enough for you to go buy the same quantity again. So over time, it becomes a problem. And that's where government has been very great to us. When there are these small deficits, the government comes in and helps. But I'm appealing to the public. I made that statement deliberately for let people understand, say, yes, EDSA, we have issues, and I'm aware of it. But the public needs to come and help us. You have to help us identify who may be involved in illegal activities, whether they thief light. And once that's brought to our knowledge, we'll investigate. The good minister said it's an allegation, an accusation. Until it's proven, we need to just act. We'll go through the process. In addition to that, the other main issue we're struggling with is some members of the community actually vandalize we assess them. Our transformers, almost every other week, you will hear say they don't go for that transformer, they don't go cut that cable. As I sit here, we just get reports from the far college and when they don't cut cable there. Now, when that happens, we are affected. But what's also important to note is that the public is equally affected. So if the public decides to, hey, this is my brother, I'm your man, I don't want to, they know I don't cut that cable there, what you are doing is you are destroying us, and also destroying all the way around you. Because if Mine will sell like Mr. Bar, and they will give me that money, and they will buy it, because like the rich was, guess what happens? Okay. And they will buy it.
Alright, I think.
Mr. If I may, I need to just.
Okay, I'll give you an extra minute. Because I want Lay and Timai get chance, and I will say questions, and they will get chance to go.
And finally, question number one for emphasize again is, whenever lights go, the first highlight, that's an one light. That's an one light. But if you understand now that, now buy, we sell, they buy. With the buy, we sell. We'll get the money, we'll go buy back. And also, any businessman or woman, when they get in business, when they buy and sell the buy, and they go buy and market, I say, so I don't sell it to someone. I give back to myself. It doesn't make sense. We are mindful of our challenges. We know the issues. We support of the government and donor partners. And given what we don't do so far, I hope this gives comfort that as EDSA and under leadership of Alaji Kandesi and President Bio, that we are trying to do everything possible to minimize this revenue loss. Because if we will make enough money for pay bills, we're not going to talk there. So thank you, Minister, for your time.
Wow. I really want to say, and thank you, Minister, for the indication of applause. I want to pay tribute to my brother July, because you see, Salon, most times in the conversation, it can be fact-free. All man does it talking you. Go to the witness now today, and you know, not all tell the give yourself pat on the back. But I think we running at this country for many years. Not so always you get a major agency, a major ministry come forward and talk to the people there. Fact, and put the hand up and say this is the challenges they will get, and this is the reality of the situation. They don't take in time and really go down and get the details there for you. On electricity, nobody will say with accuracy that it is worse today than it was 5 years ago, because empirically that is fake news. The fact of the matter is that, the guy is saying, we been get 16% in terms of the distribution. Now we don't increase that to over 30%, we are around 36%. That is the fact. Number of households and customers that we had something get 194, they don't go to 320. So yes, 1,000. So yes, we get challenges. The infrastructure that will be built, not able yet for keep up fully with the current demand. And as I say with electricity, one don't do solar business, one not small. When you give us a small light, try the way if you get half light, you just want to turn on the bulb. Even at the village, you don't light. Now, them below them in a bulb, no more than the ones. They all want by fan. Next month, they want by AC. All land increase, then they increase the burden now on that system. ETSA is supposed to provide and meet all that demand. Even the population of Salone alone for the time they build this entire system to meet the population now to fit on, it all continue over the years. And yet, that same system they ETSA they try for the light. They say one thing very important to our left family remember. If they turn on the light at the same time for all man will burn the city, literally. You know, it will just collapse, ultimately point. So the reality of the situation of family like that, when it comes to power supply right now, we need for manager, we need for ration, we need for make decisions. They talk about the injection points, then they go get, they can through one system, then they shave and give all man. Right now, one side they can't do, but like I say, government don't put major investments there in. For make sure say we increase how they distribute that the east and also the far west. I don't talk in this press conference before say the one day in Canada they organize themselves, they go America, go say let's alone get MCC. Now they're not different, they're not English normally they speak in the codless. But they're not different from the one who they vandalize the ETSA and the one who they thief the ETSA. Because now the exact same thing you do. You grab to say, let we not get the resources for let we build the system, let all man benefits in the country. You can hate the government, it's fine, and a democracy, you can disagree with me. But we all for results say, they want to do the thief light for all they accountable and punish them. They want to do the vandalize for points they out. And now we all the responsibility for call out outside issues a day. And like I say, ETSA back, get problem. Then get a young challenges. You don't put the hand up and see, and they work towards for solve. The minister, His Excellency the President, really care about this issue. Just last week they met an energy roundtable, but they focus on their challenges here and the investment that they make. I have to say thank you. I really, because their two issues are so important, and makes it go longer for this opening session. I want to let Marie get a quick bite for just share from a youth perspective with your response to it so far, and I'll open right to the
Thank you very much, honorable ministers, directors, my colleague young people and viewers for Ferriol, good afternoon. Of course, Marie Bangon am name and I happen for me the Western area where District Youth Council chairperson. And I want to talk on waiting with the young people and for do for say we get efficiency and accountability within the two sectors there. So. Well, of course, we know say youth win at the backbone to the development of the beloved salon. And therefore, we get a key role for play for make sure say we change the narratives between the two sectors there. So that is the energy and the mining. So I get some points and way I want to share out where we own role where we for do as young people. Of course, like as a there, we need to advocate for change by using with voice for influence, and also let we see how best we can involve young people into the two sectors then. We also need for create a safe space and also see how we can able for nurture the environment for with the young one them, and for offer guidance, mentorship, and also organize educational and recreational activities then for see how best the young people then will give back to the country. Of course, we serve as a voice of the voiceless, and we also need for invest in the ICT so that we be able for capacitate and give knowledge for create innovative source, and especially in the green energy, such as solar, because we want to see the last village or that last mamina the rural or the young people within the rural village, let them self benefit, because then we all not forget to remember energy, especially in our money. So we want to see how best we can create more innovative source of green energy where we will provide solar, wind, and that of water. We want to also provide resources for provide and for promote training opportunities and for young people and as a kind where we were able to get a sustainable development goal, and also for equip with future generation where they can, so that we were able to boost with skills and in the mining sectors. Let we go one out. And we also need for, truth be told, the energy sector specifically need for up the game, because honestly, government no need for subsidize the energy sector, because they get everything it takes for CC, they're involved and able to give out within people they want. Before they be involved the young people them, especially NYS, for make young people them they monitor. Now with the talk about thief lines, we get a lot of people them, me and you too know say, we get a lot of people them where they thief the line, but how we go able to identify them when we are not involve the young people then? So the young people then need to be involved and see how best we go able to monitor and also show, point out them people there, so at the end of the day, EDS will be able for run in your own and raise in your fund without government not subsidize. Because when government is subsidized again, you get a lot of implication. When I get all the thing it takes for CC, when I provide on your own funding so that people them will do the innocent citizens and when they do the right thing will get the light. Now with the Ration, so you find out that you want themselves where they pay, where they do the right thing, they connect the right way. Not they even get access to life, and that one they not correct. So we want for them to open a game, when I step up and then do the right thing, so that at the end of the day, everybody go there at peace, and then we go able to enjoy the light. Because we want that money within our village, or then use themselves within our village, or then get their solar, let them able for charge, let them able for even get a small fees that they do their business, or let them able to do preserve some of them, the vegetables them or things them when they do we will see the well. In the area of the mining, the mining sector. The mining sector also needs for work with the EPA, because when mining opportunities they come, the youth them the benefits, and also when they fade out, the youth them also they at risk. So we want to see the mining sector work with EPA and also that of the young people them, because we see some areas them there or some communities them there, when if you don't go mine, then dig some kind of certain hold them, then they first they breed disaster. We want for see say we involve the young people and for see how we go reclaim their land and their back. Because sometimes when if you don't dig there, they just let go and no activities, no they go. You find out that the young people and they go astray. So we want for see going forward, let una involve the young people, and we get always in faith and we form the bulk of the population. All we need now the support for make we go reclaim some of them land they are so we don't already well mining don't close that areas they did. Yeah, then we will talk about say some of the mining sectors. So I want to bring an example with this summer. We see say some of the investors them or private sectors them where they come, they know they do proper engagement. And so that lead we because we know say when they come they need forget or they pay that is surface rent. So when some of them they come, I will give an example for Summerlin, because waiting at the issue where we happen there, where make young people them, they just they redundance them and then they reclaim the land, not work or sustainable things only for young people. And because when they come, the surface rent where they're supposed for pay, if they take 2 town lots, then they send at 1 town. They know they give the exact money or the exact benefits where they're supposed for give. And then as time goes by, they begin to start people them. We know say highway 10 or 15 young people them for work, they begin go come with machine them now for come do. And at the end of the day, no sustainable something or the youth them just left like that, they don't get anything for them. So going forward, we no one for see that one day. I hear you the talk of act, so we want also let this day inside the act. That when any mining company or sector or private sectors will come, now any communities or locality or district, make sure say the young people will be fully involved till the end, and then we get a sustainable. Whether when they fade out something for day where the youth themselves for the able for capacitate themselves. So at the end of the day, we don't get a lot of the opal. Now we see young people them still there.
Now the thing is we carry youth activists, we don't take off now, yeah? We'll let land now, yeah? But I will let you land, okay? I'll give 30 seconds. I think it's fair, we'll give you all extra time, so I want to be fair.
Alright, so we still get young people them way not get work, don't college over the 10 years do not get work. So we want to consider 2 sectors. There are a lot of opportunities there where if una go bring in young people them at the end of the day, youth them will let for go temple one, and even the issues of these drugs we don't come young people because the idle mind is the devil's workshop. When you engage the youth positively, you're not going to do anything on the contrary. I thank you.
Alright, see, we are the activists now, all clap. We are the minister, the director general, Pastor Teluna. I didn't watch watching, I didn't mark on my face. Alright. We get plenty of questions don't come online, but today, I did flip and small. I want to ask you a question then. Because I get plenty of questions online, I can't ask them. I want to take the question we will get, then I will combine them with the one they will get, and then I will ask the panel, because as you see also, we a little bit pressed for time. We might extend for a few minutes just to make sure I do justice to this panel. So now put up your hand, who the kind of the rules, put up your hand, you ask the question, one question, the person, no introduction. No preface. I'll cut you off if you violate the rules to know that. Would I need the microphone? You do. Thank you, sir. Number 1, the gentleman. Number 2, I know I can pick the people within the young people because I first take them. That's how I know. So we can first of all occupy this seat. Otherwise, so number 1, number 2, number 3, gentleman. No, the one with the bears. Number 3, number 4, the gentleman and the under. Then I want a female now. I want female. Number 5, thank you. Now let's go quickly. You know the numbers.
Good afternoon, my name is Abdullahi. I work for Moonlight Media. Of course, my question goes to Dr. Matai. Inside your statement, you see. Yes, sorry. Inside your statement, you see, of course, the mineral licensing agreement, the mineral licensing agreement, sorry, change to compulsory. But just now, the chairman for Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Mines see most of the companies them where they operate and so will not get that mining license agreement. You know, this is necessary because that's when they find the company and the country. Maybe say let's say forget him and that mind nice agreement. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Number 2, now the gentleman I am. Do I help me do a fast? No, I am. Number 2. You go by the number, please.
Good afternoon. Me and John Kelly Mara at the report for Daybreak newspaper. The question that goes to the Minister of Mines. Mr. Minister, what thing our ministry do for combat the illegal mining activity that happen along Falaba, the Enchidom, and along Kwanadogo? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. I'm Ibrahim Isaac Mansari, Executive Director, Center on Parliamentary Operations and Functions. My question will go to DG for ETSA. During the former president, when Hamad Tijan Kabab blessed memory, there is a legislation where we go in Parliament with regards to this electricity. I just want to small on, you talk about network, say the network too poor. And then I want to ask a question, like this regulation where we don't already do in Pakaba. So whenever electricity storm na any house where that house where it catch fire, and then the NPO or the EDSA for payback to them people and the losses. So I don't know if we wanna still look into the loss, then they wanna go back for try for put the loss then they together and bring back to to the things like that.
Thank you. Number 4.
I'm Benjamin Jackson. I'm reporting for CTN. To the Minister of Mines, and in your presentation you made mention of monopoly, and most people believe say monopoly they lead to dictatorship and they break the barrier of free market. And there's a strong rumor that palm mining one for buy a share of Sarah Wutai. What do your ministry will do in that particular situation for stop that particular action? Because up to now, Sarah Wutai is still emphasized for reactivate the operation in Area 1. So what did your ministry do for stop the issue of monopoly, where many people believe or say a barrier and then they lead to dictatorship? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Number 5.
My question that where the Minister of Mines talk during his statement, you talk say for now the government neutral onto order for by the SRS on the Australia Stock Exchange. But my question that the trading, if they fit the bill or not, or either one go prefer the Russian or the Chinese people that for take over the mining. What's in now you stand currently?
Thank you very much. We get 5 questions, Mr. Minister, in a popular manner now. But I also get more questions that we can online, but I think most of them actually related to what you asked me about whether you comment on the similarities where SL mining and Sierra Leone will get on that. The same name, creating, if now, I guess people want to know opinion on the creating issue. But specifically, somebody said about mining license agreements, whether that's a useful, for illegal mining activities in Calabar, and whether, and then somebody make a claim saying monopoly bad, they lead to dictatorship, and so whether you get a point of view on stopping alleged monopoly. But I guess we don't need plenty mining license in Asylum, so I don't know how this board reached the conclusion say one company, if this one person gets these 2 companies will make a monopoly, but I'll let you further inquire. And then we'll come to you, sir, after that.
Yeah, exactly. First question regarding mining lease agreement. You see, companies that come apply for miner, we go to give them local mining license. They give them rights and obligations for going mining export. That's adequate for can invest. Because we can invest before we license, we sit down for them we know technically and financially you're capable. Then they call the financial model, they do all of this. Then we go through the application process from NMA, you go through the Minerals Advisory Board, go to the minister, we get the license. As I speak, we have about 24 large-scale mining license issued. About 8 to operate. The remaining are either in development, recently we just cancelled 2. As I can say, if you challenge even the last Mines and Minerals Act of 2009, including the current Mines and Minerals Development Act, go look inside. If you don't get time, just put it inside you what process and look for the word mine release agreement. You know the day. Nowhere. Now a bad practice will not become normalized. And when we believe it handicap the country. For so long, this process began from 2001, which we are began the act. The agreement they couldn't turn into act. Other companies they don't copy and paste the same thing. London Mining, African Minerals in 2010, Kwedu Holding in 2012. Then we don't get Kingo don't come do the same thing, FG don't do the same thing, Marampa don't do the same thing. In each one of those agreements, they actually deviate from the law. The strip they put in place a fiscal stabilization and legal stabilization. And most of those, if you go check and they're online on the website, then they put inside they say if any disagreement or inconsistency between the agreement and the law, the agreement supersedes the law. We're not judge for myself, if that makes sense. You get a constitution, you get the act, they get agreement. But as I can tell you, we implement not only make the law, at the House of Parliament. Okay? Now, not to the right. Of course, it's also the prerogative of the government if it believes in this investment, the investor don't come. In need for supplemental license with another agreement, so be it. In most other jurisdictions, other countries, they get a requirement in Guinea before you get to the common concession for iron ore, bauxite, and rare earth minerals. Minimum investment at $1 billion. In Ghana, they get, if you want to stabilize the fiscal regime, if you don't invest $500 million. So that will allow you, and the way to call, you didn't undertake the development first before they actually give the concessions there. Just as I talked earlier about your water, we give all the concessions there. So there is a minimum qualification. They will tell you the processes we have to go through before the parliament ratify. We don't get that. So what only happen over the years, every company can just come somewhere, even before they begin mining, they actually can mine this agreement. They will cannot strip out so many things. If I tell you, I say for 2023, last year we did nearly $1.2 billion worth of export from the mining sector. What do we get? From the license fees, about 10 million. From royalties, about 20 million. The other taxes, every reach 30 million. So the rest, the mining lease agreement will take. I'm not against any ministry and any not against mining lease agreement, but it must be correctly negotiated with the right experts, the right ministries, departments, and agencies, and you get for deserver. Not so you're right. We get mining companies who don't care, they don't want to shipments, then they ask for mining lease agreement. You get some who don't care. Right now, you have to get some other mining companies who operate with mining lease agreements, and they contribute. So now the prerogative of the government, not to a mandatory, so we must get up. You have to deserve it. And it has to be properly regulated. The next question, waiting with the do about illegal mining in Falaba, Diag. Several times when this thing came up, you see people like they say, we're trying some Chinese man in one village in the mine, we get these people. I wonder whether they come out China, where you don't know Salon. They go to the remotest village in the mine without the town chief, don't know, the section chief, don't know, the paramount chief, or the locals. Most times, you get so many characters that are involved from all layers of the society. And I get one thing I might clear. What we therefore distinguish between illegal mining and away the mine without license. They will get what we call illicit and irresponsible mining. You get license, but your obligations you don't meet up. So sometimes when I see some people that get license, at least in that sector particularly, the license will only give to Sierra Leoneans. A small area, just 2.5 acres, we are just 50 meters by 50 meters. The license for 1 year for renew. So people like just really say because you go get then agreements for the access to the land from the local chiefs and the regional office, so they go mine without even the appropriate processes or license. We they deal with that. What will they try to do? Through the NMA, we get over 279 monitors we don't deploy in these areas. The country, yes, it might look small, 2,000 square kilometers, but mine they take place in very hard to reach areas. Sometimes you don't use motorbike vehicles the way sometimes you don't get. And then people are the mobile. As you don't know, they don't move for the other side. Some they use machinery illegally. So, but the current issues now, they are really address them because some people don't know if you go mine and people the license. We already get large scale or small scale, which is not allowed. So, but our responsibility for us not only on the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources or the enemy, but every single living here, for them to report, bring it to the attention of the relevant ministries, so that we will act together. At the end of the day, now we need to deprive. I can tell you that the artisanal sector, particularly, it's a challenge. The government last year, just probably $1.1 million I get from the mining artisanal as taxes and non-taxes from the artisanal sector. Go nearly only to about $27 million total export from the diamond. Go down there about 5, but we take it to the government less than 1 million. And we get for spend for chasing people around. It's not a collective responsibility, but we know this, we still act. We know each other in this, including the EPA as well, and the National Water Resource Management Agency as well as the NPA. With regards, my partner buy stocks. MML
versus.
Yes, versus your hotel. I don't say this earlier.
And same question related here, I just want to make sure this person is hard. Are you positive, negative, or are you truly neutral and you don't care?
Positively concerned about which is really derived from the mining sector for allow you, me, and everybody else for benefit. Now, I don't say earlier, we allow investors to be moved into the country for that they can invest. I don't say that very expensive, very risky, therefore. But at the same time, just like any publicly traded company outside the boundaries of Sierra Leone, every day this they happen. If you go to the New York Stock Exchange, London Stock Exchange, Australia Stock Exchange, Canadian or Toronto Stock Exchange, and buy and sell shares with an ownership. So, if Sierra Leone, the board don't decide to put shares out there, as I said earlier, whether that Kathmandu you come out, whether that Kabul, you are buying, now you're right. But also MML don't begin operate in this country from the days of SL mining, we go arbitration, they don't change Marampa, they don't mine. Last year, they do nearly 2.5 million tons export of iron ore, worth nearly $228 million. Yes? Together with Kingo, the royalty we to the government are nearly 12 million. They meet the obligations by law. So if any company cannot prove itself to be worthy, technically and financially, we get for encourage such companies. Sierra Leone said they do the same thing. Last year they exported nearly $138 million worth. They said they contribute one way or the other to reduce royalties and other stuff. So if they two companies don't decide, not forgetting that the board, in Australia, on the Australia Stock Exchange, they don't decide to sell shares, not companies, some like 10%, 5%, 20%. Now they're your business because we don't even interfere. But as a government, we're concerned. If somebody says monopoly, I want to ask, who said it's monopoly on commodities? These are two different commodities. Iron ore, the two companies are like Kingo Mining Company and Marampa Mines Limited. They are two. We will say they monopolize the iron ore sector because nobody really do anything. But together, there were two last year, just on royalties. Then nearly $12 million they contribute. They told them employ more than 60,000 people, half of the 50% of the population. Then they meet the obligations. So I don't see that yes as a monopoly. Sierra Leone only in that place from 1967, the same company. So me, as far as I'm concerned as a regulator, let me wait. As I belong to where somebody can, it's how we compare. We get laws, we don't regulate them, they will deal with that. So my position, whether a neutral, positive, or optimistic, positively, that the sector will work. Now, government.
Mr. Minister, I think I can stop you now. Can't answer your question because we're almost out of time.
Just one question: whether I prefer Chinese or Russian? I prefer anybody when you can do the right thing for the benefits of Sierra Leone, irrespective of the race, the nationality, or and just the right things, right?
Thank you for that, because I almost repeats that question, because one of the discriminates in an open country, as long as you meet the basic standards that the minister say, and you meet your obligations, you're welcome for investors. Edsa, you get some questions that we can. One about the board has seen the law being seen for pay compensation if there is a loss or damage because of Edsa, and whether this is not something they will still do or not supposed to do. But then we get other questions online. Some of them don't address them. One time you for address this power outage and load shedding. Somebody said that they continue to play with the switchboards then at the office. I feel like that question online. All what you talk about social media, it's actually play with lights. So I think maybe address the issue as somebody also be asked within EDSA request executive for increased tariff with the notion saying I will make enough revenue, but the tariff don't work or yet EDSA not able to fulfill the payment obligation. So you don't have to ask that question somehow when you talk about despite the increase, still there's a loss, and then there's questions of I think you tell me just now about the variation in terms of the currency, right? Because we're still collecting yields, and then we'll go pay dollars. But go ahead, respond to that in the briefing.
Thank you, Minister. So, for the first question about the law, to be honest, we don't read a law there, and I'll be more than happy if you would just share a copy of the law, so I will read and get the legal for looking to and see what we will do about it. Because we want to be law abiding. We don't want to violate anybody's laws and rights them. And but let me just touch on the idea of we passing the bond and why EDSA is always blamed. EDSA, our responsibility stops at the meter. Okay? And the amount of current with the meter that they took, whether they take for them and light, very, very small. So before the current they pass go inside yours, that you meter first for one. And once you meter one, no more power they can inside yours. So most times we hear
of the meter born on are responsible.
Well, most times yes. Because if the meter born, because now we don't send current, we don't come born the meters. So there is protection in the meter. Yes. Like, the meter enforce the bond.
Minister said the meter make those born.
Well, that now has to be determined by Fire Force.
Exactly.
So now Fire Force now need for camp investigate the matter for determining exactly what you need to the fire. But again, me go on for see and read the law and get interpretation of the law. And again, as EDSA, we want to be law abiding, but we not see it. So please share with us and we will look at it. Now this issue of people that play with the switchboard, like the cap on and off, on and off. Even for us at EDSA, it's embarrassing when it happens. Okay? But it goes back to the earlier points I make about the fact that we don't outgrow we network. Now imagine if in your private homes then, if you put 2-3 appliances on, most times, if you try to force all your ACs on at the same time, your main breaker is a trip. So when the load on your system is more than what you for take, it's a trip. So what has happened is, because we don't increase the number of customers there, if all now come on at the same time, as a way to protect the network, that breaker is a trip. But again, as EDSA, because we want to be responsible, people they still go and try to settle them and fix them. That's why sometimes you will see it go off, it go off, it go off. And then eventually, most times, once those go down, they stabilize. Nobody at EDSA gets any pleasure from playing with switches on, off, on, off. And then it benefits me because when you don't use the light, you don't pay for it. When you don't pay for it, I'm not going to go buy light again. So it's EDSA derives no benefit absolutely for the light.
All right, thank you very much. It's 3:29. I really want to do this today on time, but I also realize there might be burning questions here. I feel say, based on all the sentiment that I don't see online, we don't really exhaust overall. But I ask, and this now, the social contract they work now. You get a burning question where you don't see they don't answer it. Where they don't answer it. Now Sabine knows who. If I give the mic, you say they don't answer the question. I'm not even glad you. Eh? So put up the alas, he say you sure say you get burning question and will not touch on it. I want to give you the opportunity for the answer that question. Boss to the mic. Start with the fire quick. We do 1, 2, 3, 4. One quick crowd. Yeah.
Mohammed Kamara, the Watch and Zakora newspaper. Director Watchman, I just want to give a demonstration. I take a case 56 days ago to the communication department of EDSA. The case in question concerned, they start the roof, they start the edge of the roof, the new cable the way they passed that. One are blind in Kisi. The two, look at me, sir. The two cables that pass up, excuse me, the two cables that pass up, one passed down. The communication officer was there when we were attest. Despite the fact that the people over the right time, they counted this to die. I go to the complaint, they promised me that they will come. They took my number, they took the number of even the inhabitants of the house. Believe it, me or you, up to now, they no go there. What's it going to make you, honorable director, no one goes to public opinion say, most of the fire when they go on here, right now these days, that because of the negligence of the technical staff of EDSA. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next, number 2. I want to say it today, and I normally really ask questions, we get pre-loomed all. I want to nobody else. Go ahead.
My name is Jaffarman Davis from Radio Democracy. The question is, sometime back in Parliament, what we come out say, EDSA perform corporate social responsibility to golf club. I want to know if the money when Parliament they ask say you for return, if you don't return.
All right, thank you. Number 3, I think and then the last one over here. Yes. There are a direct question, so we'll be brief. One door in fire.
I'm John Martin Kamara activity. I also ask EDSA if they not get to recognize database, you can talk about TIFLIGHT, and that's the problem we happen in our community. When the people will beat EDSA people because they just take care and put out transformer, ground in our community, so they get low voltage. So EDSA need a better database for active meter, inactive meter, and for TIFLIGHT. If they don't get them,
there.
Yes, sir.
You're not a journalist there. Eh?
No, sir.
Okay, let me make so. Pass the mic now. Thank you. Number 4.
I'm a right to read Galaxy Game.
Yes.
Before then, I just want to give information since DG asked for them to give information from the public. The Kalbatom and Guinea, they suffer huge blackouts as a result of you staff them. Maybe they connive for take money when the month cannot reach 25th. Gazama Street and Mayankine. They collect money, but now that Mayankine don't back off from that syndicate, Mayankine they suffer huge blackouts because they know they contribute again for the guys there. Now so with the student with the sea light na Gazama Street because of the don't back off, we do not get light at all. So investigate Chimande. Now the question is, DJ. Alright. The question now, waiting CLSG, Bumbuna, the Car Power Ship, the Kintom Station, and Black Coral Station. All the stations they are, they build for source lights and the various communities. But for you, telling us if you release all the power, free from the ball. Mr. DG, what will happen? You know they buy the credits when they go buy for the meter then, and then you say they give that they want to give and not give that they don't forgive. It's like they do injustice. So what will make them do injustice in terms of the distribution of the light? Thank you very much.
No, let's go. See, the way this press conference here the work. Intellectual honesty. If I bring guests, with duty, they ask the question, you know, you discuss them. We all here, we hear what he say. You don't make claims the way you don't make. And I don't like that. Okay? You don't talk with you, just claims they talk. Finally, we let the conversation be truthful. An important question that you ask, and I appreciate you giving the information we bring. Just like I said, they ask them other information there about my that's important. Then they separate from now, you move now, begin say, you don't say, if you give all the lights, it comes to go. But we say, he said the system will fall down, go crash, essentially. I mean, I'd say, imagining it to a fire outage. He said capacity no day, follow all at the same time. You break down why that capacity no day. You talk about injection points, you talk about all that, you talk about what, all the things that we say. He said if you get all the night in about 72, 75. He said, but the need will get 120. And we don't get the capacity at least in a journalist. If I don't listen, so we ask the question. Let it be based on the facts. You get enough for ask for. But if you take that in out, you don't say. Then you go say, you don't say so, you don't say, the Julia, you want to give it. No. You say then the ration. And that's the fact. All over, not just Saloyas, I just from Ghana. Lights they go. And then the share, and the balance. For make sure say, essential services and get, neighborhoods and get all. So you always get the dismiss question. I want to get a chance to answer the question there. I just want to emphasize again, say, I really call on we, all we get in frank conversation, yeah. This man don't left in work camp, then man don't left with you. Then we also treat this platform separate from outside where all man they want emotional TikTok and social media and talk with you and talk. Yeah, will be based on waiting we actually see. So we'll get a frank conversation based on that. Over to you, Keisha.
Thanks, Honorable Minister. So I will start with the gentleman right. I am sorry for that experience. Okay? What I'm going to show you is that after this meeting, I will talk to you personally and I will make sure that they address that matter. I'm very sorry for that experience. Now, for the second comment about golf club, okay? If you look at that report, that will be based on the 2022 audit report. I'm not doing the EDSA there, okay? That's point number one that needs to be clarified. But more importantly also, once the matter was raised, under main leadership, we don't do waiting Parliament be asked for what we do. That has been resolved. Okay? Now, for the question about a recognized database, I'm glad you brought that up. So, more recently, if we observe, EDSA has been going out chasing our money, right? One of our main challenges is the fact say we didn't collect enough money for buying light because of losses. So with support from the World Bank, we'll be going to install IMS system, information management system, where they really allow me now, okay, from our computer, I can tell based on you meet a number, when last you buy, how much you buy. And that we don't use for making identify down the way they take lights much more. Okay? And so if you see where we they go out, most of the side of where they go will not be the miss because it was targeted. Unlike in the past, it's more or less we will say, okay, go now Aberdeen, they begin check host to host. And by the time one person see you don't allow the next man, they don't go correct them. But now the way we are operating, it's more or less I know or I think we said the T flat. So I go straight to that point. And the IMS has helped us. And not just with identifying other relative, even when it comes to keeping track of with finances, keeping track of material use. So we are slowly improving in those areas. To the Calabaton point about my opinion in Kasama Street, if I ask you now, tell me that extra staff or extra staff there, will they take money? You willing to tell me? Because if you show me who they are, I identify them, I'll fire immediately after we investigate. But the challenge now, Minister, is that you will ask stay next year, people will show you. And my problem is, as a people.
This man a journalist, now I can ask. necessary follow-up say for points the person.
That's what we need. We cannot make these allegations say extra staff that they do bad, but we don't really for point the staff there. How can we as management take any action on allegations without facts? So please help us identify who these people are. We will investigate, and once we confirm say yes they're involved, we will terminate. No room for discussion. Okay, that's our policy. It's in our handbook. So we always there is a EDSA, this. The public, please help us identify the bad apples inside EDSA, and we'll clean and sanitize ourselves.
All right. On that note, I think so. We don't do enough for today. I want to take this opportunity to tell let's take it to the panel. Before we go, I've been planning for you 30 seconds. So let me just say final words. Marie.
Thank you very much. The final word will be firstly, I want to say thanks and appreciation to the Ministry of Information for the opportunity, and also to the youth sectors, that is the Ministry of Youth Affairs, National Youth Commission, and that of the National Youth Service. I want to say thanks and appreciation. And this we want to say the youth then we get to already it takes for them to be part of the process. So we want to say thank you and for doing it takes for system will influence positive change among us.
Thank you, the Honorable Julius Mantai, Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, Jola Hai Sumana, Director General for EDSA, Madam Maiba Bura, Chairperson for Western Area Rural District Youth Council. I want to tell una plenty thank you for una camp, una report estate, the media, and allow continue this engagement. Next week, do you allow remember, we did a bit too money for a massive town hall for tackle this push crisis. Same time, we're going to be to money next week, inshallah. I want to tell you all plenty thank you and continue for coming. All the partners they can rely until next week. Assalamu alaikum.